Hi everybody! Welcome to week 4 of our English 1020 online class. In this week's video, I want to talk to you guys all about drafting. We are engaging in the final part of Project 1, and you guys have already generated your shitty first drafts. We're going to do some peer review, or reader review as I call it, and I'll explain that in a little bit. And finally, this Sunday night at 11:59 p.m., Project 1 is due. So it's pretty exciting to be getting this first project under our belts. Let's switch over to the Canvas view and I'll talk you guys through this week's activities. Okay, so here we are in our home screen of our digital classroom. I'm going to go into week 4 activities so that we can pull up the overview for everything that we're doing. So you can see that this week we're working on revising, getting feedback on, and polishing your Project 1. And in terms of weekly assignments, what we want to watch this week is your week 4 instructor video, which you're already doing. Good job. And then this guy, this peer response mini lesson, is a quick run through of how I want peer review to go in our class. Now you'll notice that sometimes in our documents I refer to it as reader review, and I believe I talk about it that way in the mini lesson too. And this is just to say that, a lot of people don't feel comfortable with peer review. They don't feel like they have anything to say of value to a fellow writer. A lot of us don't even feel like writers, right? So it could be that people are not feeling secure about grammar strategies, and so how could I ever help my friend correct their grammar? Or maybe you feel like you just suck at ideas, or it could be anything in between. But I'm here to tell you that I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm just asking you to be a reader. That's why I call it reader review a lot of times. I mean, peer review does kind of imply that we're all equals here, but reader review gets a little more specific and really highlights the fact that even if you don't feel like the best writer in the world or the most confident writer, you don't have to critique like the best writer. You can just give feedback as a reader. We're all readers in this class. So as you read through your friends' drafts, if you don't have any super confident grammar advice, don't poke out the grammar. You know what I'm saying? If you don't feel super confident in an area of this paper, don't feel compelled to correct your friend, but rather try to focus on giving feedback as a reader. You can always ask questions. You can always say, I'm not exactly sure what the grammar rule is here, but this sentence feels a little awkward to me. Or as a reader, I had to go over this a couple of times. Can you clarify? So I want everyone to feel empowered and confident as you give each other feedback, because our whole goal here is not to generate more busy work. Am I right? Ain't nobody got time for that. But our goal is to give each other super supportive, generative feedback, ask some good questions, and help each other make our papers stronger, because we all want stronger papers, right? We all want to have better quality writing. So that's what we're going to focus on in reader review in this class. So check out that mini lesson. Go ahead and watch that. The little vid this week is really important because it highlights the process that we're going to be following for the rest of the semester, collecting stuff, setting stuff aside, organizing our portfolios, which we're going to be turning in at the end of the semester. So take a minute and watch this little vid. My colleague Adrienne Jenkins went to a lot of trouble to make this and help everybody think through the process of putting together your portfolio. If you have questions about it at all, shoot me an email and we can talk about it. But take a look at this little vid about portfolio collection and building an organization. So those are the 3 things to watch this week. To read, of course, read any notes, read over your shitty first draft. If you're going to have a conference with me, you're going to read 2 classmates' drafts in our discussion thread. That's going to be our reader review thread. I just want you to read chapter 2 of our textbook from Inquiry to Academic Writing. It really talks a lot about the writing process, which we're really starting to get into the nitty-gritty of this week. So check that out. And reading over your shitty first draft, reading over any friends, classmates' drafts that you do for reader review, and reading chapter 2 of the textbook, those are your 3 readings that you'll respond to in digital journal number 4. Of course, also, you'll be looking over the Project 2 assignment, but that'll come after your digital journal is due. You're going to be writing notes and feedback. You're going to be writing digital journal number 4, and of course, you're going to be polishing up your final draft of Project 1. So it kind of breaks down like this. By Wednesday, try to have this video watched and have your shitty first draft read. And if you're going to have a conference with me, you've either had it by Wednesday or make sure that you schedule it with me. On Friday or around Friday, try to have your reader review and peer response mini lesson watched and look at your other classmates' drafts. Start giving everybody feedback so that they have enough time before Sunday to take your feedback into account, because by Sunday you want to turn in Project 1 and watch that little vid and read Project 2 so we can kind of set our sights forward to next week. Okay? So just a quick note, when we are talking about drafting this week and working on Digital Journal 4, think about how everything's coalescing for you in Project 1 around the writing process. Have you used multiple drafts like this before? Is it something that you've ever been assigned? How is it working for you? And as you are thinking about your classmates' feedback and my feedback, what are things you can change to make your paper stronger? And now I'm going to talk to anybody in our class who maybe feels like they are a confident writer and they feel pretty strong in their writing. Really push yourself to see if there are areas where you can improve on your writing, and don't just kind of relax and rest on your laurels, because practice makes better. The more we practice revision, the better we get at it, and the more we revise our writing, the stronger it gets. Okay, so let me close this out and I'll just talk to you a minute about this week. Okay, so we've got a lot of drafting to do, a lot of feedback to give, and a lot of revising on our plates for this week. And to me, this is the fun part of the writing process. Like, after my first draft is generated, then I get to play with it and mush it around and maybe do some experiments yourself. See what happens if you cut out the first couple of sentences that maybe were warm-up sentences to your draft. Maybe see what happens if you reorganize your paragraphs, or if you have any monster paragraphs that are like a page long. See if there's any place in there where you can break those paragraphs up to ensure that each paragraph is one idea moving from that general to particular structure that we practiced last week. Okay, so happy revising, happy drafting, and I will talk to you guys soon. Oh, one last thing. For conferences, today I'm available as soon as I stop making this video from 11:30 until 1 p.m. And then I have to head to a meeting from 1 to 2. I will also be available in my office Thursday from noon to 2. And of course, if you can't make any of those office hours, you can shoot me an email and we can set up a Skype conference. Okay? Have a great week, everybody. Talk to you soon.